Hello there, you're watching TVS News at 5 p.m. It's the first day of Shawwal. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac. Let's begin with our top story. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria perform Aidilfitri prayers at the Federal Territory Mosque here today. Their Majesties arrived at the mosque at 8:14 a.m. accompanied by their daughter, Tengku Putri Afzan Aminah Hafizatullah. Grand Imam of the Federal Territory Mosque, Muhyiddin Aziz Sa'ari, led the prayers. Also participating in the Aidilfitri prayers were Prime Minister Dato Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob, who arrived at the mosque at 8:07 a.m., members of the Cabinet and Deputy Ministers, along with their spouses as well as members of the public, have also joined the congregation. This is the first time the Yang di-Pertuan Agong performed the Aidilfitri prayers outside the Istana Negara. Prior to this, their Majesties performed the Aidilfitri prayers at Istana Negara following the implementation of the Movement Control Order MCO nationwide in the past 2 years. The prayers were conducted in accordance with the new guidelines on the relaxation of standard operating procedures SOPs in mosques and surau.
Di dalam bangunan masih lagi makan mas. Diwajibkan, tetapi di luar bangunan dalam keadaan di kawasan terbuka seperti ini tidak lagi makan mas. Tapi saya lihat sewaktu saya datang tadi, ramai yang datang berjalan kaki ke masjid ini masih lagi memakai mas. Bermakna rakyat masih lagi berhati-hati dan menjaga dan mengawalkan diri untuk kesihatan diri dan anak dan keluarga masing-masing. Ya, jadi alhamdulillah lah. Kita tak, walaupun diberi kebebasan, tidak terlalu terbuka, bebas dan masih lagi berhati-hati.
The Aidilfitri sermon, titled Kemenangan Menuju Keredaan, among others, called on Muslims in the country to exercise self-control and complete vaccination, including booster doses and vaccinations for children to reduce the risk of more severe COVID-19 infections. Before leaving, Al-Sultan Abdullah spent time exchanging greetings with the congregants. The Prime Minister also spent time with the congregants. Their Majesties left the mosque at about 9:15 a.m. It was followed by Ismail Sabri and the cabinet members as well as deputy ministers. The people were urged today to continue observing good health practices during the Hari Raya celebrations as part of continued efforts to break the COVID-19 infection chain. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah said there now seems to be light at the end of the tunnel after strong efforts by the people to battle the deadly disease in the past 2 years. In contrast to previous years, Ramadan and Shawwal this year came at a time when the country is in the transition to the endemic phase of the outbreak.
Pelbagai onak dan ranjau yang telah kita tempuhi dalam perjuangan membebaskan negara daripada belenggu COVID-19. Melangkah ke hadapan, rakyat Beta hendaklah meneruskan momentum dengan berterusan mempraktikkan amalan penjagaan kesihatan yang baik dan mematuhi semua saranan kerajaan. Jangan sekali-kali mengambil mudah dan bersikap sambil lewa akan nikmat kesihatan yang dikurniakan Allah SWT. Sesungguhnya nikmat kesihatan itu adalah asas bagi kehidupan yang sempurna dan kepada pembangunan negara tercinta.
His Majesty also expressed confidence that the reopening of Malaysia's borders on April 1st would have a big impact on the country's economic recovery as well as bring joy to the people who now can return to their hometowns. His Majesty said Hari Raya Aidilfitri this year will definitely be a more joyous celebration with loved ones. His Majesty and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Hajah Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandariah also reminded those returning to their hometowns to prioritize safety on the roads and adhere to traffic laws. Their Majesties also expressed their appreciation to all frontliners, including the Malaysian Armed Forces, the Royal Malaysia Police, health personnel, as well as all government agencies entrusted with maintaining the country's peace and sovereignty.
Beta dan Raja Permaisuri Agong mendoakan agar seluruh rakyat Beta dan negara Malaysia dicintai ini akan kekal bersatu padu dan sentiasa berada di bawah perlindungan Allah SWT serta dijauhi dari sebarang musibah dan bencana. Sekian, selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri kepada seluruh rakyat Malaysia yang Beta kasihi. Maaf zahir dan batin.
Majesty said in his special Aidilfitri message delivered over local television and radio stations on Sunday. Sarawakians are urged to remain united and speak with one voice to continue efforts to restore their eroded rights in the state, said Sarawak Premier Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg. He said joint efforts are important in implementing matters that had not been implemented as enshrined in the Federal Constitution and the 1963 Malaysia Agreement.
Saya yakin rakyat Sarawak juga akan memberi sokongan padu kepada kerajaan GPS agar suara Sarawak terus diberi perhatian sebaik mungkin di peringkat kebangsaan insya-Allah. Suara Sarawak di Parlimen harus lebih kuat daripada sedia ada supaya negeri ini terus dihormati dan kuasa yang menyumbang kepada kestabilan pentadbiran negara.
Abang Johari also gave an assurance that the state government's leadership under him would do its best to fulfill what GPS promised in its 34 points manifesto in the last Sarawak state election. He said the main goal of GPS is to take care of the people as well as develop Sarawak, be it in the rural areas or cities, so that the state can achieve a developed status within the next 8 years. According to him, GPS government has proven that Sarawakans themselves are able to manage the state well, especially when the state is facing the COVID-19 pandemic.
Sarawak is prepared to progress dramatically while providing its people with skill sets to strengthen the economy in demand-driven sectors and responsive to global trends and market needs. Its Premier, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said that Sarawak has the resources to realize such aspiration, therefore acquires more local future-ready talent regardless of their gender or race.
Sarawak merupakan negeri terawal yang telah mengorak langkah ke arah ekonomi bentuk baharu ini. Malah, negara-negara lain telah mengenali usaha Sarawak. Seperti yang terbukti apabila saya dijemput untuk berucap di Forum Hidrogen Dunia di Rotterdam, Belanda, minggu hadapan. Sebelum ini, pada 26 April yang lalu, saya juga telah berucap pada satu sesi dialog anjuran Temasek Foundation di Singapura. Saya yakin undangan daripada pihak penganjur di Singapura telah dibuat berdasarkan inisiatif Berani Sarawak ke arah pembangunan ekonomi hijau dan berkisar pada ekonomi hidrogen.
Abang Johari said this in a message in conjunction with Hari Raya Aidilfitri. In addition, foreign investors from Korea and Japan are also recognizing Sarawak's policy towards the development of green energy. These economic power countries have come to negotiate with the state government to invest in green hydrogen production projects with a production capacity of 10,000 metric tons a year by 2025. Moving towards the year 2030, he assured that Sarawak will continue to explore new ideas for its future development, which would be based on digitalizations. Welcome back. Kuching on Sunday night welcomes back the reinstated direct flight from Brunei. The Royal Brunei Airlines Flight 855 touched down safely at Kuching International Airport at around 8:40 p.m.
According to Sarawak Tourism Board CEO Sharzidi Datu Saleh, the reinstatement of the direct flights from the Sultanate is very much welcome to help revive Sarawak tourism industry.
Very happy that we have our partner RBA here, who's taking their flights back to Kuching. Last time it was 7 times a week, now we have 2 times a week with bigger aircraft. Yeah, and tonight it's a full load. So we're very, very happy. I think it's still the beginning. We will see more of direct flights, coming into Sarawak.
She added the recent relaxation of standard operating procedures by the government is timely with the country's transition to the endemic phase. At the same time, Royal Brunei Airlines Senior Vice President, Passenger Cargo and Charter Sales Christina CHUA said the inaugural flight operated at full capacity with 141 passengers on board.
Today is a full flight basically. It's 150 capacity. I think we have full lots with about 141 because there are few seats that we reserve for quarantine. Yes, it's a full flight. We're glad to be back, honestly. For Royal Brunei Airlines.
Royal Brunei Airlines now operates twice weekly direct flights to Kuching every Thursday and Sunday from May 1st to June 30th.
The Health Ministry MOH expects a spike in positive COVID-19 cases after the Hari Raya Aidilfitri celebration. However, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah expects the majority of cases in Category 1 and 2.
He added that excess mortality due to COVID-19 in 2020 and the first 6 months of 2021 were low compared with before the pandemic and found a surge in excess mortality in July and August last year. Nur Hisham said after the reopening of the country's borders on April 1st, the MOH expects the number of cases to increase, but it has been on the decline. He attributed this to the herd immunity resistance from the vaccine and those who acquired it through natural immunity.
That's all the time we have for news at 5 p.m. For more headlines at TVSTVMY or follow us on our social media accounts. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching. Selamat Hari Raya.